This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. The time is 7:30. This is the May 13, 2021 work session of the Allendale Mayor and Council. Welcome to everyone who's joining us via video and teleconference. We ask that you please mute your devices at this time so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There will be several opportunities for the public to be heard tonight, and we will advise you at the appropriate times. So with that said, Michelle, please read the Open Public Meeting Act announcement.
Sure. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger.
Great, thank you. And please conduct the roll call.
Councilwoman Homan is absent. Councilman O'Connell.
Here.
Councilman O'Toole.
Here.
Councilman Sasso.
Here.
Councilman Strauss.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilsinski.
Here.
Mayor Goldstein.
Here, thank you. Public comment. We open the meeting 3 times to the public, so this is the first one on in the work session. So anyone from the public wishing to speak, please let me know, alert me in somehow, and I'll ask you to state your name and address for the record. You'll have 5 minutes to speak. I don't see anyone or hear anyone, so I'll close the meeting to the public at this time. We'll come back later. Now for a very happy and jubilant part of our work session. It's a special meeting for us. We will be recognizing the Allendale Garden Club's centennial anniversary. And we're also going to be recognizing the Allendale Community for Senior Living as part of National Skilled Nursing Care Week. So I'm going to start with the Allendale Garden Club. I think Eleanor Sorensen is here. Hello, how are you? Great. So before I read the proclamation, I want to thank the whole Garden Club of the borough for your dedication to keeping our community beautiful. We all appreciate driving by the clock island, the borough hall, and other parts of town and colorful flowers. And so without further, I'm not sure where the noise is coming from. I just want to make sure everyone hears the proclamation. So
You were having a little bit of a hard time. I think there's like a little bit of an echo.
Yeah. So if you're not going to speak, I guess just put it on mute so that we don't pick up any of your background noise. So the first proclamation is in honor of the centennial anniversary of the Allendale Garden Club. Whereas on May 12th, 1921, 100 years ago, at the Borough Hall, a small but very enthusiastic group of residents met to discuss the formation of a garden club. Whereas on May 26th, 1921, the first organization meeting of the Allendale Garden Club was held with charter members in attendance and officers were elected. And whereas for 100 years, the Allendale Garden Club have been a respected part of this community. And whereas the Allendale Garden Club continues to beautify the borough by maintaining garden plantings at the municipal building, Lee Memorial Library, Bell House, and the Clock Island in downtown Allendale. And whereas their members also perform community service at nursing homes and were instrumental in planting the flowering trees that line DeMercurio Drive for all residents and visitors to enjoy. And whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Allendale wish to recognize the centennial anniversary of the Allendale Garden Club, as well as express appreciation for all of their contributions to the community over the past 100 years. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Allendale, along with its citizens, hereby honor the Allendale Garden Club for their outstanding commitment to our community and celebrate their centennial anniversary by proclaiming May 26th, 2021 as Allendale Garden Club Day in the Borough of Allendale. Thank you. I see your big smile and our big smile. I don't know if now would be the appropriate time, if anyone from the council wishes to join me in thanking them for their centennial anniversary, now would be a great time.
Well, I would, of course, because as some of you may know or may not know, I was involved with the Garden Club for many, many years when my kids were little. I don't even remember when, John. You're the one that asked me for the dates, and I had to really go back. It was a long, long, long time ago, but it's always been like a really special group, maintaining gardens all over, really, and expanding too. I started at the Clock Island, then it was, the library, and then going on to the post office even too. So the Garden Club has always been near and dear to my heart and always did wonderful things throughout Allendale. And Eleanor has always been a part of it. She's been there, as long as I can remember. And her husband, John, too, also has his creative side because he takes the most beautiful photos of flowers and everything and events all around Allendale and shares them with us. So both of you are very special to Allendale, very creative in Allendale. So I'm really super happy that the Allendale Garden Club has been around for 100 years. Who knew? And I hope it's around for another 100 years. So it's great that we're marking this, and let's continue to get all those gardeners going and expand it and keep it going. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Great. Anyone else? Okay. So Eleanor, you're the president on behalf from us to you and to the whole club and to your husband. Thank you for everything you and everyone as part of the club for the last 100 years. You truly make Allendale a beautiful place to live. We thank you for that. Great. The next proclamation is to the Allendale Community for Senior Living in honor of National Skilled Nursing Care Week. And if it were not COVID time, I would be delivering this in person, as I have each, for however many years they've let me. It's truly a special place. It's a special place in Allendale. It's a special place in Bergen County. Dr. Tim Giancarlo has been he and his father, just what they've done. And you can tell the love and care and affection of everyone there. I can't put in words how thankful we have been to have them leading the building and the company. So since 1967, they've been serving the people of Allendale and beyond providing specialized medical care for those in need. And this year particularly, especially where we've seen how crucial that is. Dr. Tim Giancarlo, I'm president and CEO of the nursing home. I want to thank you. You and I have gone back many, many years. What you've done, what your father has done, your commitment to providing outstanding care to the population, particularly before I read the proclamation, Councilman O'Toole knows, every week we would report at our OEM meetings, and Councilman O'Connell, we report the readings, and your numbers were unbelievable at a time when the numbers across the country were not. Somehow you were able to, with TLC and proper planning, et cetera, you were able to keep so many of the residents safe. So we truly thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, and I speak for all of us, and I speak for everyone. I speak for everyone who's there, and I speak for everyone who has a family member there. So I would like to read this proclamation in honor of National Skilled Nursing Care Week. Whereas we honor and respect our elders and citizens of any age with physical or intellectual disabilities who reside in the Allendale Community for Senior Living, a skilled nursing care center located in the borough of Allendale. And whereas skilled nursing care centers throughout our area are holding events in observance of National Skilled Nursing Week, May 19th to May 15th, using this year's theme of Together Through the Seasons. And whereas all citizens are urged to contact a loved one, family member, or friend residing in any care setting to offer a kind word, a personal touch, spend time participating in various activities as a way to help in uniting all walks of life in need of our continuing love and support. And whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Allendale are committed to quality health care, we take this moment to embrace the spirit of the theme Together Through the Seasons and join all residents, clients, caregivers, nurses, and other staff and visitors in celebrating their special week. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Allendale do hereby proclaim the week of May 9th, 2021 to May 15th, 2021 as National Skilled Nursing Care Week, a week to honor our vulnerable citizens who receive care and the dedicated ones giving care. And Doctor, on behalf of all of us to you, I said it, before reading the proclamation, what you and your father before you and what the whole organization have done and continue to do from all of us, from the bottom of our hearts, we say thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate this wonderful accolade and this time of your compliments really mean a lot to us. And we really enjoy working with the entire Allendale community. And we just, we're very blessed to have you guys working with us and working not only the council, but also the police and the fire and the ambulance services. So thank you very much to your entire team.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Mayor, if
much.
I might.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Please do.
I'd like to thank you, Mayor and Dr. Giancarlo. I'm one of the people that has a loved one at your facility. My mother-in-law is there now, and she's receiving great care. We visit her regularly, and she's very happy that she's getting that great care. And my father-in-law was there before her, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you very much. And Councilman Sasso, thank you for adding that. Okay, good. We will move on to agenda review. We have a relatively, we don't have a lot on the agenda, lots on the consent agenda, but we will, tonight we'll be having our second reading and public hearing for ordinance 21-07, which approves a financial agreement with Hampshire Allendale MF Urban Renewal LLC. I'm not sure, Amy, if you want to speak to that or you want to just wait and give it, summarize
I can
everything.
speak to it in my report.
Okay, great. We'll be canceling some of our COVID-19 special emergency authorization funding via resolution 21-144. Either Lissa or Matt, Councilman O'Toole, whether you want to speak to that or you want to cover that in your report. You cover it in your report. Okay, great. We will be introducing ordinance 21-09, which allows the borough to exceed the municipal budget's appropriation and establish a cap bank. Lissa or Councilman O'Toole, give you the opportunity to speak, or you can cover it later. Lissa, are you on?
Yes, I am. We can cover that later under when Matt does the report.
Okay, great. Thank you. We will be approving 6 resolutions on the consent agenda. 21-145 is to authorize the 2021 salaries for Crestwood Lake employees. Tom Viscardi has advised us that 2 additional lifeguards need to be hired. 21-146, authorize county road resurfacing shared service agreement with the County of Bergen. This is a routine shared service agreement that we enter into with the county for road resurfacing of the Bergen County roadways. 21-147 is to approve a tax appeal settlement for 191 McIntyre Lane. We've reached a tax appeal settlement at 191 McIntyre Lane. Thank you to Tax Assessor Angela Matisse and Borough Tax Appeal Attorney Joanne Ricciardi for the reference on behalf of the borough. 21-148, authorized submission application and signing of letter of intent, the Library Construction Bond Act for Lee Memorial Library. The library is applying for a grant to renovate the current Borough Hall space when the borough offices are moved, and this is a necessary component of the grant application.
Actually, Ari, I think Patty Durso might be on if she wanted to speak to it. This might be a good time.
Great. Thank you for stopping me. So Patty, if you are here, if you want to speak now, this would be an appropriate time.
Okay. Let's see.
Good.
Good evening, everybody.
Great.
And Jackie McBiggin.
I'm just going to set it up one more time. So on the consent agenda is 21-148, authorized submission application, signing of letter of intent, the Library Construction Bond Act and for the Lee Memorial Library. So the library is applying for a grant to renovate the current Borough Hall, and this is a necessary component. And with that, I turn it over to you, Patty, or anyone else there who wishes to speak.
Well, we're very excited that for the first time in 20 years, the state of New Jersey is offering a construction grant for libraries. These things only come around. The one before that was 20 years earlier. So it's literally a once in a generation opportunity to apply for matching money. The thing that's different about this grant from previous grants is all others were 25 cents on the dollar. This grant is offering a one-to-one match. So for any monies that the library has raised, we can literally double our money if we're approved for a grant. Through the support and fiscal prudence of our board, and through the help of the Friends of the Library, who have been a great fundraising support structure for us, and through the investment management of the Mary Kay Lee Trust, we have $900,000 that is available for us to have matched by the state. We're working with Joe DeFranco of Bruno Associates, who is a professional grant writer, to help us provide a very strong application. And we have selected Iovino and, Arcari and Iovino architects. And Joe and Anthony Iovino have worked successfully before on other construction bond grants. So we're feeling very positive about our prospects. Of course, there's a lot of competition, but we're looking forward to applying for a project that will have a $1.8 million project level, and if awarded, we'll look forward to using that money to better this borough asset on behalf of the community once the borough offices are vacated. Yes, and Jackie McSwiggan, our trustee, is here.
I just want to jump in and really extend our sincere thanks to the council, because you all were forward thinking in terms of the use of the space. We're all excited about the relocation of Borough Hall. We can't wait for you guys to get out of here, but we are very excited about the opportunity to expand into the office space and to make good use of that, and to really provide a more comfortable space for programming and for our residents to relax and enjoy the library. But really, we couldn't be doing this without the support, of the mayor and council. So we're very grateful to you for all of the support you've given to us all along this whole grant process. And we just hope that we'll be successful in our endeavors.
Great, and thank you. And we applaud all of your efforts. Truly, I know it's been a labor of love and it's been a lot of work. So for the record, Patty Durso, Jackie McSwiggan, and Jill Webb are all here on behalf of the library board. We truly, I know I speak for all of us, although I welcome anyone to add in to say how appreciative we are for all of your work with the library board. Thank you.
Well, I will let you know that we are trying very hard to get the heck out of there so you can move in. And Patty, you said it great that it is a tremendous asset to the borough. So the library is an amazing asset to the borough. There's really not a better way to say that. And I think with enhancing it, it'll be amazing for the community. So thank you for all the effort you've all put in, and let's all keep our fingers crossed and let's do it.
Great.
Yep. And make sure that the community knows that there is no additional taxes and no additional monies that are being required, that it's all coming from the library.
That's right.
All coming from the library.
Thank you.
All great points. Thank you very, very much for all your work and for appearing tonight. Next on the consent agenda is 21-149, authorize refunds for 2018 and 2021 tax overpayments. This is a routine resolution when there are tax overpayments. 21-150 is to approve the bill list. I've reviewed it.
Yes, I have.
Matt, Amy, I'm sure both of you
I have.
as well. Great. And finally, under new business, we'll be introducing the 2021 municipal budget via resolution 21-151. I want to thank all of those who worked to put this budget together. It was a very, very difficult year. However, we worked together and each line was reviewed 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, we went back, we sharpened the pencil till there was no pencil, until there were just nubs. I mean, we went back over and over and over again. Special thanks to CFO Lissa Mayer, Auditor Paul Lurch, Councilman O'Toole, Councilwoman Wazinski, and the entire Finance Committee, Ron Kishner, and our department heads and staff, as well as the Financial Advisory Committee for all of your hard work. Public hearing for the budget is June 10th. Councilman O'Toole, anything you'd like to add?
Gonna kind of go over it all in my report.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold on.
So we do have 10 minutes, so we can do some of our committee reports. Councilman O'Connell, would you like to start? Okay, we'll come back to him. Councilman Sasso, would you like to give your report?
Sure, Mayor. Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. So the Land Use Committee met yesterday at 8 a.m., as you all know, because you were there. It was uncharacteristically a short meeting. We don't normally have short meetings, but it was a good thing. Construction code and zoning dialed in from vacation, so thank you, Anthony Hackett, for doing that. And he gave us a great view of his balcony on the Florida coast. Yeah, I know. No, it was a little obnoxious, but we're still happy that he
But he
dialed in.
called in. That was pretty good.
Right, but he called in, so we're happy about that. But everything's going very smoothly in the field and in the office, right, Mr. Strouch? You were there on the call as well. So we're happy about that because it doesn't always typically go smooth, but it is. Mike Vreeland was also on our call from engineering, and things are going smoothly there. Property maintenance, Mike Limatola, our property maintenance officer, he's out there, he's patrolling, and he's giving the Allendale residents the compliance, let's say, that they deserve. And I have, as a person who's out there all the time, driving around and walking around myself, I can tell you that things look great, in my opinion. If you're in the sound of my voice and you don't think so, let me know by email. I'm happy to look into it. Another thing that came up very quickly, which we're going to look into, that was put on our radar. A resident of Allendale who's very knowledgeable about nature and wildlife has brought to our attention that there are some bait stations for rodents that are out there commercially. Not unique to Allendale, it's all over the country actually. And these bait stations are double coagulants, they call it. In other words, the rats go into the bait station, they take the bait, they run away, and it's very effective and it kills them. But the problem is when the rodent is out there dead, the turkey vulture, the hawk, the fox picks up the rat or whatever is dead and ingests the poison itself. And there's been the DEP has investigated a few times and they found that we've had a great horned owl and I think it's a Cooper's hawk, Jim, if we remember, which is endangered, and they both died, and it was confirmed that they were poisoned, which was most likely from these bait stations. So this resident, again, who's very knowledgeable about wildlife and very involved with the celery farm, has asked us to look into it. So it's on our radar now. I'm not sure where it's going to go from here, but I'm very eager to look at it down the road and see what we can do. Because the celery farm, of course, is one of the jewels of Allendale. It's a nature preserve, and by definition, we need to preserve it. So we're going to look at that in the future. Councilman Strouch and I are having lunch tomorrow, which is long overdue, and we're going to discuss, among other things, informally, just the two of us over lunch, a noise ordinance, possible redo. There's been a lot of chatter out there locally, not only in Allendale, but generally, I think because more people are working at home than ever and schooling from home, there's been a lot of focus on noise and what might need to be amended or changed. So we're going to discuss that tomorrow, very informally, and then we'll bring whatever happens in our discussion, we'll bring back to the next committee meeting and back to the next council meeting for public review. And that's all. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Councilman Sasso, for all your work. 5 minutes. Amy, you want to give your report? You want me to hold you till the
I might need a little bit longer, but I can try. Unless you want to go back to Ed.
I'll go back to Ed. Councilman O'Connell, you want to give your report?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Thanks, Mayor. As far as public safety goes, calls into headquarters was 5,031. 911 calls were 558. Fire department calls were 54, and AVAC was 141. And all officers completed their spring qualifications with passing grades. And with OEM, COVID cases are down again still. Governor looks to be loosening the restrictions on May 19th. OEM with public safety are working on the Memorial Day service. And we are also working with the holiday observers for July 4th celebration. As restrictions change, so does our plan. So it's a work in progress. Thank you, Mayor.
Great, thank you. We have 4 minutes. I'm going to give my report. We are encouraged by as Councilman O'Connell mentioned, we're encouraged by the continuing decline in COVID cases. And as Governor Murphy has loosened the restrictions. Stay tuned to the borough website where we keep you up to date. Important events, September, May 15th, the BCUA will be having their household hazardous waste collection event at Camp Gaw. Visit the bcua.org for all of the details. On May 22nd, we'll be having our annual free paper shredding day, which is sponsored by the BCUA. This year will take place at Crestwood Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Details of this event can be found on our website. The clerk's office will also be on site from 9 a.m. to 11 to process compost permits, pet licenses, and Crestwood Lake registrations. Additionally, since our last meeting, I had on May 5th, I had the pleasure to meet with the Allendale Superintendent of Schools, Michael Barker-Apone, Business Administrator Maria Angeli, and Board of Education members Amy Gunderson and Kim Rosner. Each year, they're kind enough to give us an advanced viewing of their budget presentation to the public. Once again, I was very impressed with the Board of Ed and Superintendent Barker-Apone's efforts, and truly I'm thankful that they're at the helm. Additionally, it was no small feat keeping the schools open for our children during this past year. And on behalf of the borough, our deepest appreciation and admiration to everyone involved in the school system for all of their efforts. That is my report. We have 2 minutes, so I'm not going to try to cram anyone in those 2 minutes. So we'll do the rest of the reports after the regular session. So I would, at this time, request a motion to adjourn the work session.
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Steve. Councilman Sasso, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. Sit tight for a minute and a half and we'll be back. The time is now 8 o'clock. This is the May 13, 2021 regular session of the Allendale Mayor and Council. Welcome to everyone who's joining us via video and teleconference. At this time, I ask the public to please mute their devices so as not to distract from the business of the meeting. There'll be 2 opportunities during this meeting for the public to speak. We will advise you at the appropriate times. Michelle, please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement.
Sure. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and the borough's website, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger.
Great. If you can all please rise to salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Michelle, please conduct the roll call.
Councilwoman Homan is absent. Councilman O'Connell.
Here.
Councilman O'Toole.
Here.
Councilman Passo.
Here.
Councilman Strouch.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilsinski.
Here.
Mayor Bernstein.
Here. Thank you. Public comment on agenda items only. So I open the floor to the public for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to be heard on agenda items? Not seeing anyone. Close to the public at this time. Ordinances for second reading and public hearing. Ordinance 21-07. Michelle, please read the title of ordinance 21-07.
The following ordinance published herewith was first read by title only on April 29, 2021, and posted on the bulletin board of the lobby of the municipal building and borough website. This is ordinance 21-07, ordinance of the Borough of Allendale, County of Bergen, New Jersey, approving a financial agreement with Hampshire Allendale MF Urban Renewal LLC.
Okay. Open the floor for public comment on ordinance 21-07. Not seeing anyone. I request the council member to make a motion to move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 21-07. Notice of same shall be published according to law.
So move, Strouch.
Thank you, Jim. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Amy. Michelle, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan is absent. Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilman Sasso.
Yes.
Councilman Strouch.
Yes.
And Councilwoman Wilsinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is a resolution 21-144, which I discussed in the work session. I would request a motion to pass.
So moved.
Second.
Second O'Connell.
Thank you. Michelle, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Homan is absent. Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilman Sasso.
Yes.
Councilman Strouch.
Yes.
And Councilwoman Wilsinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is introduction of ordinances. Ordinance 21-09, calendar year 2021, ordinance to establish the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. I would request a council member to make a motion to introduce and pass on first reading ordinance 21-09 and set the hearing for June 10th, 2021 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter in the council chambers of the Allendale Municipal Building.
So moved.
Thank you, Matt. Second.
Second.
Second O'Connell.
Thank you. Michelle, please read the title of the ordinance and then conduct a roll call.
Sure. This is ordinance 21-09, calendar year 2021, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Accordance with NJSA 40A:4-45.14. Councilwoman Homan is absent. Councilman O'Connell.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilman Sasso.
Yes.
Councilman Strouch.
Yes.
and Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Next is the consent agenda, which I reviewed in the work session. I would request a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Strouch.
Thank you, Jim. Second.
Second O'Connell.
Thank you, Ed. Michelle, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Holman is absent. Councilman O'Connell?
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole?
Yes.
Councilman Sasso?
Yes.
Councilman Strouch?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Any unfinished business? No. Under new business, as indicated and discussed in the work session, we are going to be introducing the 2021 municipal budget. So I would request a motion to approve.
So moved.
Great. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Amy. Michelle, please conduct a roll call.
Councilwoman Holman is absent. Councilman O'Connell?
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole?
Yes.
Councilman Sasso?
Yes.
Councilman Strouch?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Wozinski.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Now we will pick up where we left off with our committee reports. So Amy, would you like to give your report at this time?
Sure. I'm happy to say that we had a few milestones today with 220, 230 West Crescent Ave. As you all saw, we had the final reading for the residential financial agreement. This is the pilot for the residential piece, which is the front part of the building. This is the pilot that was negotiated for this redevelopment. We already have the pilot for the warehouse in place that we approved a couple council meetings ago. And also a few hours ago, we actually had our document signing for the closing of 230 West Crescent, which is the back warehouse building. If you all have been following this kind of all started back in December of 2018. We've had many hills and valleys to get here with the acquisition of this property. But to bring us back to why we purchased it, it was first and foremost to settle our COA obligation, to prevent unwanted development. Actually, where we went to go sign all the documents today was in Montvale, which has, I can't even tell you, I think it was 1,500 or 2,000 condos. They actually built a city within a city. There's the whole Wegmans complex, but now that's even bigger with 5 or 6 restaurants, lots of retail. We could have a lot more than the 70 units that we had. We really wanted to provide the community with more space. The only space that we have for the community is the Borough Hall, current Borough Hall building. So now we have a large community room. We have other large and smaller meeting spaces. The way that it really worked out in the building, I think, is just wonderful. I'm very pleased how it came out. And then we have space for our wonderful library, as you just saw, to expand into our current Borough Hall space. Hopefully they'll receive a grant and to make that a even better spot for our residents. And to also have more efficient workspace for our Borough Hall employees. Currently right now, it's just not very efficient. It's very, very crowded. We have absolutely no storage. We're putting half of our documents up at top of the police building. So here we'll have not only better space for employees to work, but we're also going to have at least 3,500 square feet of storage for all of our documents. And we're doing this all without raising taxes. The pilots are basically going to be paying for the building, and then if there's any overages or whatever else we may have. So with this big accomplishment, it takes a village, it takes a big team, and we've had a really vigilant team that has been working really nonstop over these past few years to make this happen. We have had weekly meetings. Every Tuesday, we have a meeting at 7:45, and we've had these for the past 2.5 years. I think we've missed like maybe 2 or 3, and we always have a ton of stuff to talk about. So the 220, 230 team is, aside from myself, it's Ray and Tom, our borough attorneys. They've always provided steadfast guidance throughout the whole entire way. We've needed them above and beyond what they do as regular attorneys for just borough work. Tom was the master of all the documents. I can't even tell you how many documents that we had. 40 or more documents. Just last night, I think we had 24 documents come through that we had to sort through to get ready for the closing today. Ari, who's our mayor, has been supportive throughout this whole process, never doubting that we were going to have this and get this done. We've had Vince Barra, our mayor emeritus, on our team, who's a brilliant mind as well as a brilliant attorney. has spent countless hours assisting us. We've taken a lot of his golf time away through his entire retirement years, and I'm so grateful for him. We literally pulled him off the golf course today because I couldn't get to the meeting on time because I had another meeting. And of course, Liz Homan, who's not only an amazing friend, but she's also a great negotiator. She's a calm voice of reason and just overall fun and smart. And I'm just so grateful that she's stuck throughout all this, considering all that she does for the borough with her stuff with water. We also have another whole team of attorneys. We have our environmental attorney, Susan Karp. We have our environmental expert, LSRP, John Larkins, and our redevelopment attorney, Sean McGowan. And actually, Hampshire, our redeveloper, has been a great partner through all of this. They knew that it was very important for us to close today for our budget. Part of this pilot is being used in the budget to keep our taxes down that we introduced tonight. It was very difficult to get this done. I'm not lying. It was people pulled all-nighters to get this done, and Hampshire really made it happen. So they are a developer. They're working with the borough. It is a partnership, and we are very happy to have Hampshire in this partnership with us. Also, our leadership team at Borough Hall. Ron, of course, our Director of Operations, Lissa, our CFO, Michelle, our clerk, who basically dropped everything at a drop of a dime and did whatever they could to accommodate all the crazy deadlines that just kept on coming in nonstop. And then last but not least, our Mayor Emeritus, Liz White, who I was actually in negotiations with when we purchased this property. You know, she had the vision to purchase the property, knew what this property could potentially become for Allendale if we didn't buy it. We knew it wouldn't be easy. I don't think we thought it was going to be this hard, but we went for it. But she was really the driving force and catalyst behind all this. So I still stand behind this project. I believe in this project. I 100% believe that it's the best thing for Allendale. If we didn't have this, I'm not sure what would be there, but it is going to be great for generations and generations. So I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for putting up with all the craziness to make this happen tonight. So this is really a special day for Allendale today to have the closing happen. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And Amy, so you may have more to your report. I want to respond. Yeah, today was definitely a milestone, an unbelievable accomplishment. Today was the dry closing for the back lot. We'll sign the closing statement tomorrow, and the wires should be sent tomorrow. But you've led this team. I mean, in terms of sleepless nights, in terms of who's sending out the agenda for our 7:45 meetings, and for it would be impossible to overstate what you've done, how you've led this team, and how much you've put in, and how much this represents blood, sweat, and tears from you. You've been relentless. You've been relentless in a great way. You've been a great leader of the 220-230 team. And we are not done yet. We still have a long way to go.
We do.
but today was a milestone, and we absolutely should take a moment to savor where we are today. And with that, to thank you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I learned a lot, I have to say. I didn't think I was a developer type of person, but now we can do this. So thank you all. So moving on to Crestwood Lake, everybody's been working hard to get it open. Our registration's open. We have people already registering. We have restrictions that are being lifted by the day. So I think it's going to be a great year. I had two meetings this week, one with the OEM team, one with the Board of Health, to review all of the guidelines again. So we are going to keep the guidelines in place, and then as the year progresses, we will be hopefully lifting them and getting back to hopefully 100% normal. We have a couple bands in place, and that also will be adding more bands as the year progresses, and hopefully we'll have a great grand opening for our new band shell that we couldn't do last year. The playground is coming along. If you've seen it, it's the kids are really, really excited, so that should be done by Memorial Day as well. The 9/11 Memorial, believe it or not, this is the 20-year anniversary of 9/11, and a lot of residents have approached me about purchasing pavers so they could be part of our beautiful memorial. So we will, as always, have a beautiful memorial. We're going to make it special. We're looking for speakers as we currently already getting involved in the planning process, and if anybody wants to be part of the memorial, we opened up the opportunity to purchase pavers. So it's been on our website and it's also in our last newsletter. So if you want to be part of our beautiful memorial, please get your request in. I think the deadline is the end of June or beginning of July. And that is it for me.
Great, thank you very much. Councilman O'Toole.
Sir. So the Administration, Finance, and HR Committee has not had an official meeting since our last council meeting, but as we introduced the budget this evening, the work's been ongoing to bring forth a budget that continues to provide everything that Allendale has to offer while keeping to a minimum increase. I've been saying it all along, but this year was extremely difficult, and the budget being presented this evening was not easy to put together, especially considering where we began, which was staring down the barrel of a greater than 16% increase. Of course, we're only able to control a percentage of the total tax bill, about 25% to be more specific, and of that 25%, about half is within our power to control. Out of our hands are line items such as contractual salaries, pensions, sewer charges, debt service, garbage and recycling contracts. Add on top of that a loss of revenue in the neighborhood of about $260,000, mostly due to COVID, and you have a very big challenge in front of you. As we like to say, the low-hanging fruit is gone, so we considered many different options to save money without sacrificing services, including a mandatory across-the-board percentage cut. But in the end, that proved unnecessary, as every department figured out how to save more. Combine that with some creativity, the use of some extra surplus funds, and a very timely pilot, and you arrive at this year's increase of 2.29%. So we also didn't need to use the emergency funds, which we applied for, which we canceled this evening. And you recall that would have deferred $260,000 or so over the next 5 years. Earlier, we also approved the ordinance to exceed budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank, something that we do every year. It allows us to exceed the 2% budget cap if we need to. Sometimes we need to use it and sometimes we don't. In closing, I would just be remiss if I didn't extend my thanks to Lisa Mayer, our CFO, Paul Lurch for his help and guidance, Ron Kistner, the rest of the committee, Councilwoman Wazinski, and Mayor Bernstein. You guys are amazing, and I thank you for your support and your counsel. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. But I do want to add, I mean, I've been with you from the beginning on this one, and you did a great job under very, very trying circumstances.
It wasn't me. I'm like the guy on the sidelines offering water and orange slices to people. I'm the encouraging guy.
It's not true. It's not true. You keep telling us that, but I know, I can tell you, I can tell the public from the inside, no, that's not the case. I mean, you know, you went the extra mile. There were times where we would get our numbers and you say, well, what about this? What about this? I mean, you ask the questions and you push back where needed. You know, you don't want to do without, and it's a balancing test. And I know when I chaired your committee, right, you don't want to push too hard. People live here for a reason, and you want to maintain that quality, but you also need to make it affordable. And I think you were successful in striking a balance there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman Strouch, would you like to give your report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Bernstein. And before I start my DPW report, I want to offer my thanks again to all the volunteers in Allendale, and even some people from out of town who come to Allendale to volunteer their time to continue to maintain and improve the quality of life in our little hamlet here in this busy Bergen County. And, you know, listening to the proclamation for the Garden Club and what the Lee Memorial Library Trust is doing is just another shining example of what a dedicated volunteer spirit can do to make a community a wonderful place to live. So as a resident, I want to thank everybody for making Allendale continue to be a place I want to live. With regard to my DPW report, well, since my last report, the DPW has used 6 tons of asphalt to patch the many of the streets in town that need patching, and an additional 4 tons of asphalt will be used next week to patch the remaining holes that we haven't got to yet. It's an annual process, and it didn't seem like a bad winter at first, but we've come through it, and there were a lot of potholes. Under the direction and hard work of Rich McDowell, Crestwood Lake is on schedule to open on Memorial Day weekend. And for anybody who hasn't had a chance to be there recently, they should stop by. It's a wonderful place. I was fortunate enough to be able to have lunch with a friend by the Van Houten Pavilion at Crestwood Lake yesterday, and I'm looking forward to having lunch with Steve Sasso tomorrow at Crestwood again. It's one of the true jewels in the crown of Allendale, and if you haven't got out to enjoy it, you should make a point to do so. The recycling and compost center. It's been very busy, especially on the weekend, but due in large part to the cooperation of the residents of Allendale, who have really been stepping up to the plate as far as I'm concerned. It seems that the operation at the recycling center and the compost is progressing well. I was myself using it on Sunday afternoon. I got to speak for a while with Dan Davis, who was manning it. And I think we're lucky to have DPW employees who work on the weekends. And again, the residents who are cooperating, especially when it's busy there, because it is a tight recycling and compost center. The sports fields are looking wonderful, and in large part due to John Pasquino, who's been leading the department and maintaining them. And I happened to also bump into John Pasquino recently, and it was nice to be able to catch up with him again, another born and bred Allendale resident who works in town and has a level of commitment that it shows in their work. So I want to thank them all. And of course, I can't forget Dan Richards and Ron Kistner. They've been doing a little spring cleaning down at the DPW facility on New Street, and they're putting together equipment and other material that is no longer valuable to the DPW, and they're going to be auctioning it off. That's something that they spearheaded a couple of years ago. And in addition to clearing up some of the old stuff, it's bringing in money, and it's a little bit here, a little bit there. And when it all adds up, it helps us deliver the quality of service that we do for what I believe the lowest tax rate that you could possibly get in this section of Bergen County. So thank you, one and all. And before I go, Ari, I'm just going to give everybody a quick update. The Goose Patrol completed their testing. There were 4 new teams of dogs and handlers this year. And although they were all dedicated, only one of them passed. And we look forward to the other teams coming back and trying again next year. The green team, which led by Mark Savastano, is proceeding well, and I'm proud to be part of Mark's team. Mark got the Patty Durso, and I think the library group is still on. They on Monday sent out an email to everybody on their mailing list, letting them know that the Allendale Green Team is back in action, and the Lee Memorial Library is partnering with the Allendale Green Team to recycle DVDs, CDs, VHS tapes, and floppy disks. And you probably all have some of that in your house. When you come across them and you're getting ready to get rid of them, please don't throw them away. Bring them to the library. Starting on May 17th, there's going to be a recycling bin for these old materials. It'll be available in the lobby of the library. So old DVDs, CDs, VHS tapes, and floppy disks. Don't throw them away. Bring them to the library. Starting May 17th, there'll be a bin, a recycling bin in the lobby. And I thank Patty Durso and the entire library, Lee Memorial Library team for partnering with the Allendale Green Team on this. And with that, Ari, I'll end my report.
Great, thank you very much, Councilman.
And thank you, Jim. Can I just interject and say that it's not just the discs themselves, but the covers, the containers, the little plastic containers that DVDs and CDs came in, so the whole shebang. Thank you.
Great, thank you for the clarification, Patty. On to our professionals, etc. Ray Wiss, Borough Attorney.
Mayor, apart from the regular items on the agenda, I think it's fair to say since our last meeting, the majority of the time was on 2/22/30. Accolades, as was mentioned to everyone in, consummating the dry closing today. Clearly a milestone, clearly a lot of work by all concerned. So that was certainly something we were involved in over the last 2 weeks, as well as working with the Water Utility Committee and Councilwoman Homan and her crew putting together the RFB. And I believe that the target date there for the bid opening, a step in the process of evaluating whether a sale is or is not appropriate for the borough, is May 28th. And that's it, Mayor.
Great, thank you so much. Michelle, would you like to give your report?
Thank you. Sure. The clerk's office will be open until 9 p.m. This coming Tuesday, May 18th, to accept voter registrations. That is the last day to register to vote in the June 8th primary election. And we'll also be available to help the residents with, anything that they need.
Right.
Pet licensing, compost permits, Crestwood registrations.
A lot. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
all that you and your team do.
Thank you.
Ron?
Real quick, Your Honor. First, I want to thank Councilman Strauss. I know where he's been, because when he stops and does talk to Danny and Johnny, and he sees all the guys, they come back to the office. They actually really do appreciate. They've known him for years.
Right.
He just sincerely cares about them. Danny, he says he always asks about how the family's doing, how this is. He doesn't talk shop right away. He actually checks on the guys, and 3 of the guys told me that this week. So Councilman Strauss, the guys do appreciate you, and they really do like you. So thank you for doing that. On the finance committee, I do want to thank the whole committee, listeners, leadership. As you know, I worked for the county. I did county budgets. I'm the finance commissioner of the town I live in. When this budget first came out, and Councilman O'Toole's correct, it was over 16%.
Right.
We all do care about the town. I wasn't sleeping those first couple of weeks.
Right.
I really was nervous about this, and the work that got done with this whole team and led by Alyssa and the professionals. The borough's very lucky for the commitment to the mayor and council and the CFO and everybody. You guys put your heart in this stuff, and you really delivered a budget that I think was doable.
Right.
I'm a pretty, you guys know I can be a little grumpy sometimes, and I didn't think it was happening. So everybody involved in council deserves credit.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for all. I mean, the fact that you weren't sleeping, and the fact that you and I had phone conferences at 7 a.m. and at 10 p.m. I mean, you live this stuff. You don't have to. I mean, you could punch the clock and you could leave and you could go home. You don't. You're one of a kind, and your footprints, your fingerprints are all over this budget. And I say that
His footprints.
I kind of like it.
your fingerprints are, and I mean that in a positive sense. And certainly for Alyssa, under very trying circumstances, thank you for your guidance. You've been the North Star, from day one. So appreciate for all that. So Alyssa, we will now turn it over to you for your report.
Thank you. I don't mind telling you that this was the toughest budget I've done in my 13 years in Allendale. But I do want to thank the Finance Committee and the department heads for working together to prepare this budget. I may gather the info and put the numbers together and advise and give options, but it's the mayor and council that has the difficult job of making the tough decisions, not only for the current year budget, but also to position the town in a good place going forward. I think we definitely made some compromises this year, but I think it'll work. And I just want to thank everybody again.
Great, and thank you on behalf of everyone, the committee, the residents, thank you for your guidance and leadership and everything else. Really
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Alyssa.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now we open the meeting to the public for the last time. Open the floor to the public on any matter. So anyone that wishes to be heard on any matter.
Mayor Bernstein, hi, it's Liz White. I'd like to have a moment, please.
Mayor Emeritus.
26.
Absolutely.
26 East Crescent Avenue, Allendale, New Jersey, 07401, for the record. I just wanted to say how impressed I've been with the work that was done to close on 2:30. I remember that day in March of 2016 when myself and everybody on the council really worked through whether this was the best thing for Allendale. And when I left the borough, I could not imagine that it would have taken this long and gone through what you all went through to get it there. And I have to commend Amy, because I don't know that there are too many other people that could have dragged this kicking and screaming to get us through the goal line today. It truly was, I'm not even going to say a labor of love. I think it was just such a tenacious way that she was able to get it done. So I just wanted to thank her and the rest of the team. I know you spent countless hours. Nobody will ever really know what it took. But I can't say I do, but I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you from me, and thank you from every resident of Allendale, because every resident of Allendale benefits from this. So thank you very much. And to the rest of the council, I wanted to say, Councilman O'Toole, congratulations on the budget. Nice to see you getting it out there, and I look forward to hearing a little more about it. And thank you to the finance team and Lissa for getting that done. So that's it. Thanks very much.
I'm not going to let you go.
Thanks,
Not going to let you go just yet. Stay, hang in there for a minute, because I remember I would say, while you were here sitting in this seat and I was down there, what you did in getting us, in acquiring the property, the courage of your conviction, the courage and I mean, I would hang for 3-year calls, and you had 5 more calls that you would make, and the due diligence, the work, you know, that was difficult. That was, you really showed your strength. No one will ever know the amount of time you put in to acquire that property, and the courage to decide to acquire it. So I don't think it's ever going to be lost, but I certainly want to take the opportunity now to thank you for all of your efforts that allowed us put the wheels in motion so that we could acquire, to do what we've been doing. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
100%.
Right. Anyone else from the public wish to be heard? Not seeing anyone, I would request the motion to adjourn the regular session.
So moved.
So moved, O'Connell.
Great. Thanks, Ed. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Everyone have a great night.
All right, you too. Night, everyone.